In this video, we will look at 5 common myths in fitness industry and we will see why they are actually false based on science. Okay, first myth is that you can target a fat loss. Targeted fat loss or spot reduction is a myth because it's simply not possible to target the location where you lose fat. Randomized controlled trials done by Remin Cordy and colleagues took 40 overweight and obese women and divided them into 2 groups, where one group dieted only and the second group dieted and did abdominal resistance exercise for 12 weeks. And after 12 weeks, the weight of both participants decreased, but there was no significant difference between groups. And the most important part of this study is that abdominal resistance training besides diet did not reduce abdominal subcutaneous fat thickness compared to diet alone in overweight or obese women. And the 2021 meta-analysis of 13 studies involving more than 1,100 people found that localized muscle training had no effect on localized fat loss. That is, exercising a specific part of the body did not reduce fat in that part of the body. So we can't control where our bodies lose fat. However, we can achieve results we are seeking in that specific area by targeting overall fat loss. While you may not lose fat in a specific area when you are exercising, all physical activity helps to burn fat and preserve muscle mass. This will lead to a change in your body shape over time, and it will also help you with long-term weight management. This is because your metabolic rate, how much energy you burn at rest, is determined by how much muscle and fat you carry. As muscles are more metabolically active than fat, meaning they burn more calories than fat, a person with a higher muscle mass will have a faster metabolic rate than someone of the same body fat with a higher fat mass. Okay, the next myth is that you can't stretch when you are training, and that's not true either. While you want to prioritize dynamic stretching before your workout, meaning you are stretching but with movement, static stretching when you are holding the stretch will not prevent the injury risk, and it will lead to decrease in strength output and power. However, a study done by Brett Schoenfeld showed that a study done by Van Avery found that interset stretch elicited greater hypertrophy in the soleus, the muscle of your calf, a type 1 dominant muscle, meaning it is type of muscle that is resistant to fatigue and helps you with walking, compared to the gastrocnemiae, another muscle of your calves, a mixed fiber muscle. And the other study done by the same person tells us that it has been speculated that stretching between sets of resistance exercise may enhance human muscle hypertrophy over and above that achieved with traditional resistance training or isolated stretching alone. In support of this hypothesis, Evangelista et al. Found the potential hypertrophic benefit to performing 30 seconds of static stretching versus passive rest between sets during regimented resistance training in untrained individuals. And to not impede your gains with stretching between sets, the intensity of your stretch shouldn't be too high, meaning you don't want to exaggerate it to the point when it hurts, because it will decrease hypertrophy actually. And don't stretch for too long, about 30 seconds after your first set of first exercise. It can be a compound exercise or isolation exercise, and after that exercise you don't want to stretch, you don't want to overdo it. So all sets of that first exercise, between them you can stretch, and after that I would not recommend you to stretch. But the idea that you shouldn't stretch when you are working out because it's bad, it's simply not true, and actually research shows that it is better for muscle growth. Okay, next myth is that carbs are bad for you, they are making you fat, and you don't really need them. I actually made a whole video about why it is all bullshit, and carbs are really terrific for your performance, and especially if your workouts are short and intense. And it is important to realize that carbs are not making you fat. That's overeating of carbs that makes you fat. And overeating will make you fat even when you will overeat protein and fats. And for better health, aim to minimally processed to no processed carbohydrates for the majority of your nutrition plan. Next myth is that you need to bulk to build muscle and you need to cut to lose fat. Well, you need to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight. However, you don't need to run a heavy bulk to build muscle. You just need to be in a positive nitrogen balance by increasing your protein intake. And it's called a body recomposition when you are building muscle while losing fat. But I think that with bulk and cut you can achieve results much faster, but it doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it. No. And that's it. I hope you will stop believing in these bullshit myths and you will improve your fitness as a result. I hope that you found this video helpful. If so, please leave me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, dedicate your life to your purpose, and bye, brother.